Alrighty, so dawn of a new day in Valheim. That's what I've been doing for the last couple of days, I suppose. We've probably been playing for about 4 or 5 days now. Here is the base that I've been building. Give a quick tour of it. As you can see, we've been building a moat around the outside to stop the trolls, which have been consistently trying to attack the base. You can see over this side, we have, fully jumped, basically a sea wall that I'm building out of stone. That's about 1,000 pieces of stone right there. Super annoying, but it stops the creeps walking around the water trying to get out of the back of the base. So, in the long run, pretty helpful. See, it runs down this way. Can't get around the outside to get into the base. The actual base itself is basically a seaport, so we're using it at the moment as an area to launch boats from the piers here, run them around the world. Just standing here, so we've got a bit of exploring. This is the base just here. Been a long way in some directions on the map, but as you can see, here's my little port. Built in a couple of staircases here in case you fall in the water and start drowning. You can easily get yourself up. Both sides. And then into the center, got a big pillared section up here. Moves into our ceiling area. The structure involved in building this is pretty annoying. You can see you can't really build any higher than this build limit. It was super difficult to get some of these panels to hold in. Had to do a lot of bracing through the ceiling that you can kind of see through here. Cross beams and things running all the way along, vertical beams running up, pillars running up to support those beams from on the underside. Go inside the base here and have a quick look. Turn on some torches. A few more portals around the place. Chests and whatnot all set up inside the base, but kind of working on trying to make it as efficient as possible so you don't have to travel too much space. Got my bed up here at the moment in the ceiling area to take up a bit less ground space. All of my campfires and cooking utensils in here. Over in this one here, we've got our fermenter working on the stuff we're making from the cauldron, etc. Over this way is the workbenches we've got so far. Chests labeled for hides, plants, food, tools, armor, resin, stone, trophies, etc. Little table to sit at. Over this side, some valuables, wood, different types of wood, potions we'll be making from the fermenter. But it's more a tour of the base. So around the outside of the base, we've placed a bunch of torches. Nighttime, trying to make it look a bit pretty. You can see our kiln and our smelter here. Built a couple of ramps to take us up to the second level here. So you can see the color change here from the platforms. This area is roofed. This area is not exposed to the sunlight or rain. Hence, the wear quality on the wood has changed along these different sections, but this is all undercover at the moment, so the wood's pretty nice. Built this extension out here to cover this part down here, which was constantly exposed. Interesting fact, when the water is high in bad weather, it's pretty fine day to day, water comes up to around here. Sometimes it even floods all the way in to almost touching my campfire. Because this base is actually built off a big rock like this one here, but a much bigger one. It kind of ran out into the ocean a bit, so I built some seawalls down here. You can see I've run my pillars mostly, that's a door there, down to reach the floor height. You can see those pillars over there running down. Can't really place much lower than that. In fact, building in water is incredibly difficult and super annoying. If any of you have tried it, you'll be aware of that. Over here, got my little boat and my other seawall I've been working on. This one here is having a few issues where it wants to go diagonal, but figure that out later. So, a little tour from the back here. We'll go back so you can get a bit more of a view on the base. The seawall is basically stopping big trolls walking in the water and popping around at the other side of the base and causing all types of destruction as they do. We've got a ramp here that's made out of thatched roofs that connects up this way across to our two other main bases, which I'll run up to and have a little tour of in a minute. But, as you can see, a fair bit of structural stuff involved in creating this roof to try and not have too many beams underneath. Give you a bit of room to walk around out here. Yeah, just head out to sea a little bit here so you get a slightly better view of the thing. And that's where we're at the moment. I've been using this little dingy raft to try and place some platforms further out in the water, but I can't reach the ground. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to manage to do that yet. Potentially have to build up those seawalls all the way across here to try and make an actual port. Build a chimney into the ceiling up there. You can see the fire slowly coming out of. And yeah, got the Mariner trenches kind of running around the inside, creating a moat over here, which continues all the way around the base. The moat works very well for stopping large trolls and other types of things getting into the actual base area. Used to, before I built these seawalls, have a huge amount of like little grey wolves just running through the water, popping out over here and attacking workbenches and all the like, so trying to avoid that, and the seawall seems to be the best way to do it. Building that seawall, this is around about 1,000 on each side. Maybe that one's more like 2,000 stone. So you can imagine how much time that takes to collect and carry. It's pretty freaking annoying. Got my little dock here that I parked my boat in. No real reason, just looks pretty. And if I continue up this way for a bit, we will see some other stuff. So here's a look at the base from above. Got the trenches, obviously, I told you about before, running down this side here, kind of like a moat. Entrances, 3 main entrances. So that one's my base. We built this whole structure here, raised up the ground. You can see the pillars underneath here that have been placed to try and connect our bases, and we're using this to transport mine carts from base to base. So we come into the seaport with a whole bunch of resources, we load them into one of the carts that we carry things around in, run up this thatched roof into this kind of central area here, which is like a hub that you can switch directions. You can go up this way to one guy's base, which is, you can see, starting to do the same idea, building this kind of seawall deal out of a moat. And the other dude over here has been doing very little exploring and a lot of building. So this big pit that he's got on the right here, he plants a bunch of trees here, chops them, they fall into the pit, he chops them further down there so they don't roll down into the sea. Give you a real quick tour of what his base is like on the inside as well. Pretty massive area. He's got his bonfire, big ramparts around the outside of his walls up here you can stand on. This is his under section, obviously. Parts of it are roofed, parts of it are not. So standing where I am above, all the way up, no roof. But here, there is a roof. Point that out in a minute. Got the fermenters running under the staircase. I have to have fermenters under a roof, so there's actually some thatched panels of roofing underneath the staircase here that you can kind of see slightly through the staircase. Go ground floor tour, a couple of portals in there. There's his work area, and he's hidden behind it all of the cosmetic stuff required to upgrade the workbenches. So here's the upgraded workbenches, kilns and whatnot. Here's a couple of beds separated by a fire. And if we go back this way, up to his next level, you will see a couple of entrances. I'll go into his next level. So he's got a bunch of chests around this center room. This was incredibly hard. You can see these structures in the ceiling. For like hundreds of cross beams required to make the ceiling without having struts going down here and a strut going down here and a strut going down here. Try and make this open space. They're all basically supported by these pillars around the center here and here. This one here, around the other side. So all of those 4 basically are holding up this entire structure, plus the corners around the outsides, and it's all just held together by beams and cross beams and beams and cross beams, and over we go. Go up to the top floor. See what that looks like. It's got a few portals up there, a workbench for a sub area. This is currently, he's trying to put a new roof on, but he's going to find in a minute he can't build higher than this build limit, so he's not going to get a ceiling on top of this one, unfortunately. But this, you can see the floor is already red. It's basically reached the build height limit. So there's no ceiling above this, and since there's no ceiling above this, all the panels down below, no ceiling as well. Whereas down below you, before you saw thatched roof, that's what we got here. So this is why this is roofed down below. This in the center is not roofed down below. So we'll go have a quick look at the other base over there. He's built kind of a trench kind of staircase, I guess, heading up into the forest. This all used to be a forest, by the way, so we've kind of chopped it all down to get enough wood to build most of this stuff, as you can see. That's his chimney, by the way, just here. See the top of it down there. That's where his fire was, that was next to his beds below me on the ground floor. And there's his portals to go through to other parts of the world. Over this. Show you real quick one of the other bases we've built further out. Yes, it is. So I'll walk through this one, and we'll come back, we'll have a quick tour at the other dude's base, and you can see basically what we've been doing in the server. It's only about 5 of us actively playing at the moment, so haven't got as much done as we would like. This is I'll go outside, makes more sense. So, dug a big hole here, started building up fortifications around the outside. This one's actually been attacked recently by trolls, so this was a connected bridge across to here. Those pillars structurally supporting that, and in the center here is like a dock with gates on each end that you would take a boat in and out of. I'm going to close that. Yeah. So you can park a boat in the center here, which is protected from the outside area. There's these beehives on the shelf just above me up here. That's what you're hearing, the bees. Building this in the water was pretty annoying too, but as you can see, another base. This is kind of like an outpost. And if you look on the map where we are, way down here at the moment, the first base we looked at, my sea base, is this one up here. And then if we head up a little bit further, this one here, Nug's house, that's that big base where he can't finish his roof. We're going to have a look at this base over here soon. But we've got a few other bases. We've got like an outpost up here. And recently I've built a new one all the way down here in the plains. If anyone's played the game before, you'd be aware that's where the death skeeters are and a whole bunch of death, hence my most recent death down there. And we've got another base that one of our guys has been building over this side as well, all connected by portals. Still haven't found our trader, so looking forward to that happening at some point, collecting valuables. So, one thing I haven't done in this base, annoyingly, is made a way to get out of the water back to that side where the portal is, so gonna have to play the jumping game. There we go. Oh, okay, well, it's missing too. Interesting. Alright, let's see what we do from there. Probably start. Over there we go. Stamina. The bane of everyone's existence. There's his beehives. He's not going to be able to build a roof on this either. It's too high, but he'll figure that out shortly. Head back through the portal. And we'll have a look at that last base. Fastest way to do it would be to teleport back to my base and then teleport to this next base, but to save a little bit of loading, we're just going to run it. We can see the stairs anyway that connect the three bases. Lots of deer around here, so never really short on food supplies. Haven't advanced to the Iron Age yet. Only found a couple of scraps of iron so far, so we haven't killed the third boss yet. We'll get on that sometime soon. And this is our third guy's base, who we would like to generally describe as insane, hence the set out of his base is super confusing. So we've got a weird door, and then we've got a second door, and then we can go into the mind of someone that is a little on the ASD spectrum. There's his portal, currently connected to my portal back at my base. He's got a fireplace down underneath here with a bunch of things, a fermenter just shoved in this ground area. He's got his kiln and his smelter out here, 2 smelters in fact. Currently, looks like he's still trying to work on his outer wall here. I assume he's going to be digging this down at some point. And this continues all the way around. He's got his little outposts here, so he can kind of stand on ramparts and shoot down on attacking trolls or whatever. Second level of his base is up here. A bunch of chests and just things thrown around all over the place. He tells me you can get down by jumping down the chimney. Take his word for that. And then he's got a top floor way up there, which maybe I can get to if he hasn't rearranged everything a third or fourth time. Yep, okay. And this is his top floor. Stamina. You can get a kind of view of the world here. So there's one base over here. Obviously the path we came down, leading down to my water base down that way. So I'll just head quickly back there, and that'll be enough for this. Aesthetically, I'd like to think mine's the prettiest base. As far as purposes go, I'd say probably this big base over here is more of a central hub. But that said, having a seaport certainly makes life a lot easier for bringing in lots of materials. This structure occasionally gets attacked by trolls and has to be rebuilt. It's pretty annoying, considering you need a workbench nearby to build, so constantly building workbenches, breaking them out, building workbenches, breaking them out to build this thing. But Anyway, this allows me to carry carts, so we maintain it. Digging out these pits is a pretty annoying job, honestly. I would have done it again. I probably would have dug the holes first, then built the pillars around it, but I had to kind of build it around my base, which made it just pretty difficult and annoying. But anyway, let's see if I can get up to my roof here, so we can get a better scale of what my roof looks like. So you can see I told you it was pretty hard. This is build height limit up here, so this is a bunch of cross beams just running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I finally managed to connect this section here. I can't even put pretty logs like these ones to connect here because they just break away and break away as we're at the maximum build height limit. Which also, of course, became an issue when I got out this way and started trying to build this little section on. This is also pretty much build height limit. I've got a few cross beams that run like here and over there to connect these two main pillars. Interesting fact, you can jump from a very high height into the water without dying. Don't know if you knew. And good luck, there's the water. Let me get up on my stairs. And here you go. Alright, so that's what I've been doing for the last, I'd say about a week. And I'm pretty overbuilding, honestly. Alright, finish it up right there. Thanks for watching, talk again soon.